The day the Galactic Council's ambassador returned to Earth without speaking a single word, every satellite went dark for exactly 7 seconds, and none of us ever forgot what that silence felt like. I was standing in the Situation Room when the blackout hit. Screens went black. Heart monitors flatlined and then screamed back to life. For 7 seconds, the most surveilled planet in the galaxy vanished from every alien sensor grid. When the lights returned, one image filled every display at once. Ambassador Keith of the Aurelian Compact, standing on the White House lawn, his silver skin cracked and dim, his many-faceted eyes filled with something no alien had ever been recorded showing. Fear. None of us were prepared for that truth. They had sent Keith to judge us. That was the official story. Earth, primitive, violent, loud, had reached the threshold of interstellar detection. We had tripped the alarms of the Galactic Council, a coalition so old their history predated our oceans. And when a species crossed that line, a single envoy was dispatched to decide whether the newcomers would be guided or erased. Keith was that envoy. Ancient, logical, incapable of deceit, according to every briefing. He would observe us for one planetary cycle and return to the council with a verdict. Simple, clinical, final. But that was only the beginning. My name is Dr. Mara Ellison, xenopsychologist. I was assigned as Kate's human liaison because I studied grief, how minds fracture under loss, how emotion rewrites reason. The irony didn't hit me until much later. When I first met Keith, he towered over me in the embassy chamber, his body composed of interlocking metallic plates that shifted like living math. His voice arrived directly in my thoughts, cold and precise. Human Mara Ellison, you will answer my inquiries. Emotion is inefficient. Please minimize it. I almost laughed. Almost. Instead, I nodded and swallowed the lump in my throat. Because even then, standing before a being who could end us with a sentence, I felt something else watching from behind his eyes. Curiosity, and something like distance, as if he were already gone. What do you want to know? I asked, why you continue? He replied, despite statistical futility. What I saw next changed everything. For weeks, I took Keith everywhere. Cities, refugee camps, hospitals, schools, battlefields where wars had paused just long enough to let an alien walk through the wreckage. He recorded everything, his internal matrices humming softly as he calculated probabilities and outcomes. At first, he was unimpressed. Your species consumes itself. He observed as we flew over a burning coastline. You destroy your biosphere knowingly. We're trying to stop, I said. Some of us. Insufficient. But then we visited a children's cancer ward in Chicago. A little boy named Luis tugged on Kate's metallic finger and asked if he was a robot angel. Kate froze, literally locked in place, for 3 full seconds. This unit does not comprehend. He transmitted. Luis smiled anyway. That's okay. You can still sit with me. Keith did. He sat there for hours, silent, while the boys slept. His systems logged no data during that time. But that was only the beginning. The council began transmitting updates, urging him to conclude his assessment. Their messages were clipped impatient. Earth was statistically likely to destabilize surrounding systems within 3 centuries. The recommendation, unspoken but clear, was sterilization. Keith did not respond. Instead, he asked me questions, not about technology or governance, but about loss. Why does the death of a single offspring alter human behavior so drastically? Why do you form attachments knowing they will end? Why does suffering not deter reproduction? I told him about my daughter, Emma, about the car accident, about the empty bedroom I couldn't bring myself to change. My voice broke. I didn't care. Keith listened, and for the first time his eyes dimmed slightly, as if absorbing a wavelength he had never detected before. Around the 47th day, everything broke. We were in New York when the sky split open, not with ships, but with light. A council enforcement construct decloaked above the atmosphere, a blade of black geometry aimed straight at the planet. Emergency channels lit up. The council had overridden Kate's authority. Judgment rendered. The broadcast echoed across every frequency. Species designated. Terminal risk. I turned to Keith, my hand shaking. You have to stop them. He didn't answer. Instead, he looked at the construct, and then at me. I have violated protocol, he said quietly. I delayed judgment to continue observation. This has resulted in escalation. What does that mean? I whispered. It means I must choose. That was the moment. The one no human expected. The one that shattered every assumption, that the ambassador confessed the truth. The Council does not guide emerging species, Keith said. We absorb them. Their cultures, their emotional frameworks. We harvest novelty. You are not candidates for membership. You are resources. I felt sick. But you are different, he continued. Your irrational persistence produces outcomes that defy predictive models. It is dangerous, and it is beautiful. None of us were prepared for that truth. The enforcement construct began charging its weapon. 70 seconds to planetary sterilization. Keith placed a massive hand on the ground. The earth beneath us vibrated. His plate separated, revealing a core of blinding light. I was not sent to judge, he said. I was sent to confirm inevitability. But I have learned something the Council forgot. What? I asked, tears streaming down my face. That survival is not the same as living. He transmitted a single command, something buried deep in his architecture. A fail-safe older than the Council itself. His body began to unravel, energy screaming skyward as he interfaced directly with the construct. The sky burned. For 7 seconds, Earth vanished again. When the light faded, the construct was gone, reduced to drifting atoms. Keith collapsed, his form cracked and dim, his once brilliant eyes clouded. Keith! I screamed, running to him. This unit is compromised, he said. The Council will mark me defective. What happens now? I asked. I return, he replied, and I will testify. But they'll destroy you. Yes. His eyes focused on me one last time. Human Mar Ellison, tell your species this. You are seen. And then he was gone, dissolving into a column of light that pierced the sky. But that was only the beginning. 3 days later, he returned, not in glory, not in triumph. A single object appeared in Earth orbit, a life pod broadcasting no signals. When we retrieved it, Keith stood inside, silent, his body repaired, but his eyes changed, darker, deeper, filled with something heavy. He did not speak. The Council's message followed soon after. Testimony received. Verdict pending. Earth placed under provisional protection. Keith never said another word. He stayed on Earth, walking among us, watching sunsets, standing in cemeteries, sitting beside grieving parents. Children no longer called him an angel. They called him the quiet giant. I asked him once, months later, if he regretted his choice. He met my eyes, and for just a moment I felt it, the echo of everything he had seen, everything he had lost. Slowly, deliberately, he placed a hand over his chest and nodded. The council still watches us. Their ships linger at the edge of the dark. Our future is uncertain, fragile, earned day by day. But somewhere out there, among beings who believed emotion was weakness, one silent ambassador carries the weight of humanity in his eyes. And because of him, the galaxy hesitates. Because sometimes the bravest thing a species can do is feel, and sometimes that is enough